worry about my speed. I get to talking and don't pay any attention. Surprise! Another Drive Time Live. I stayed home last night to watch the replay of the opening ceremonies of the Olympics. You know, it's so nice to get that excitement inside, to feel that patriotism that I grew up on. I know it's all a farce now, but I don't know. When our Olympians came out, it was like, I'm going to pretend like it used to be. I want to wait for some people to get in. I can't see this stupid phone. Hey there, who have I got? I've got, oh my gosh, there's my Elish. Hey Elish, honey baby, how you feeling? And Donna D and Tammy DeWitt and Cindy. Watch me run off the road, y'all. Let me see, I saw Barefoot Lass and Ron. Listen, first of all, this is real important to me. My sister, West Virginia cowgirl, her son's 25. Hardest working for a vacuum cleaner for Christmas. When his mom, and there's Barefoot Lass, he wanted to be cleaning with her. And I'd call a vacuum cleaner, and I'd call him and I'd say, what is that thing you clean the floor with? And I'd ask him 3 or 4 times. I'll make it short. Ask him 3 or 4 times, and finally he'd say, I ain't kidding. Anyway, a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, well, going on 3 weeks ago, he went to the ski slope snowboarding. And oh Lord, the snowboards will kill you. But he was just standing. He wasn't really skiing. He was just, you know, coming to a stop. Fell, broke his wrist, broke the point of a bone off, and messed up the ligaments in the top of his hand. And of course, you know, with what's going on, can't nobody be at the hospital with him. And they had done the surgery, kept him overnight, drove himself to, listen, this is how tough he is, and I'm sure he was drove himself hospital with that wrist and hand in that mass. But anyway, and it's about a 30-minute drive to the hospital from ski slope. They'd already done the surgery by the time they called my sister. Well, they said, oh, it'd be 3 or 4 months. The CV had everything backed up before they could get him to the real surgeon he really needed. Well, it was less than, you know, just a week, less than a week. And he went for the consultation. He said, done all of this, and you know, why'd they do this, why'd they do that? Anyway, he did the surgery, and he said that he was able to repair him they said his hand would never be a hand. But he's 25, hard worker. You'd be hard pressed that'll work harder than he. He's 25, he's not a baby, but to me he's a baby. But they did his surgery yesterday, y'all, and he is in horrible, horrible pain. So would you please pray for God to touch that boy and give him speedy recovery and help with his pain. I'm going to cry thinking about it. I'm sorry. Anyway, he's a good boy. Works the family farm, raises cows and chickens, and works full-time job. I mean, he runs pieces of equipment bigger than our houses. He's a good boy. He loves Jesus. He's got Jesus in his heart. And I know God used that surgeon yesterday as a vehicle to help with that healing, because God expects us to use our common sense too. You know, we have to use medical stuff. So anyway, please pray for speedy recovery, and pray for that boy to be wrapped in his angels and help alleviate pain. He's a toughie. He don't complain. But anyway, okay. Pull myself together. Let me get a drink. Didn't know I was going to cry on y'all. But you know, when it comes to your kids, and even though he's my nephew, I was there when he was born, so his little head pop out. Cried like a baby. I was asleep when I had my own. I had 2 C-sections. But that boy's always been my sugar pie, no different than my own 2 I gave birth to. So I know y'all help me pray. Okay, anyway, title. I think it was You Need to Be Ready. I don't know. I've got myself so jacked up now. Oh my goodness. But you know, I'm sorry, y'all. No, I'm not sorry. I love that boy, and he needs prayer. And, you know, the way they are with pain medicine these days, they ain't going to give him anything that's really going to help him. So, anyway, let's move on. Okay, everybody's heard about the Winston-Salem fertilizer plant. That's the second one lately. I can't remember where the other one was. I went down that mountain and had to pop my ears. And everybody's talking about a fertilizer shortage. Okay, called my feed store closest to my farm, and he said he had 50. Now listen, I do not fertilize all through the growing season. So by the time it rains, and Lord, we have monsoon rains, my garden got washed out twice last year. There's no fertilizer in that fruit. But anyway, my ground has to be amended. It's a mess. I've got to use fertilizer to start your plants. If you don't have pristine, perfect ground, you're going to have to start those plants with fertilizer. You just use a minimal amount. You do it when you first plant them, do it a couple of weeks later, and by the time it starts to fruit, there's no fertilizer getting in your fruit. I promise you. But anyway, you really need it. We're going to be in a mess. So I called my feed store. He said he had 35 bags. They were $12.95 for a 50-pound bag. And that he was getting a shipment in this coming week. But those bags had already been priced up to $16.95 a bag. And, you know, they don't have a real huge profit margin. I mean, this is a county that don't even have a stoplight in it, y'all. So, stuff's usually cheaper in that county than anywhere else. But a little dab will do ya. You don't have to use 10 ton of that stuff. You don't want to use 10 ton of that stuff. I've got access to a at least 40-year-old fish pond. Oh, Lord, and I posted this on somebody's channel, or I don't know where I posted it. But anyway, I was getting, oh, don't get that pond mud. I'm not putting pond mud. If you're going to get fish emulsion, what's the difference if you stir up just a little bit of fish poop that's laying on the top of the pond soil, make the water a little murky, and pour it. Don't be using your tap water on your gardens. Go find a creek or a river somewhere and haul that stuff. If you're having problems with your gardens and you've never been really successful, it's because you got that chlorine and fluoride in your water if you're using your tap water. You know, make your rain catchment system. But, you know, then you got the chemicals, you know, that the barium and aluminum and all that crap. So, you can't win, no matter which way you go. If you're wanting to build a greenhouse, and you can build really nice 2-foot square forms and put the cattle panels over it and run a 2x4 in between it, and build yourself a 12x24 greenhouse for, you know, probably $250. It's better than those that you buy, better than high tunnels. And y'all know I can't read chat when I'm driving, but I get up, when I get back, I always go through and read the chat. I noticed when I read it last time, I didn't even see my sister was in chat last time. Hey, MG Toe Forever, happened to catch you. J Stone 78, for Pete's sake. Mwah. Love you, girl. How you been? I've been meaning to call you, actually. So anyway, get yourself some fertilizer. It's not, you know, everybody's talking about, oh my gosh, it's going up in price, it's going up in price, it's going to be gone. It is going to be gone. I use such a little bit of fertilizer just to get And this is after I get them in the soil. And when I drop my potatoes, I put a thin layer just so you see those little speckles. I use 10, 10, 10. That's what I use. And then for bugs and stuff, I use ag lime. And then I get some pelletized lime, and I get some powder lime. But I had a bag from last year. It's a 40-pound bag. And I think it was $9, $8 or $9. So it gone up that much just from the first explosion of the fertilizer plant, where that was. And then my neighbor went and got me 4 more. So I have 140 pounds of fertilizer that should do me 10 years or more. But I thought, I won't need all that fertilizer. What a great barter product. I saved my coffee grounds. We'll put that in the ground. I'm going to have empty plastic coffee cans. I'll barter a coffee can full of fertilizer for meat, But if what is coming in next week was already going up $4 a bag, and that don't seem like a whole lot, but now this one, who knows if they'll ever get that started back or when they will. I would say his next shipment is going to be double that. And this is an old country feed store. Now, it was already, let's see, that was $12.95 a bag for a 50-pound bag. And the 40-pound bags at Tractor Supply are $12.99. But that was what I got for $8 or $9 a bag. I had a bag left over, and I shared that bag. That big garden I showed y'all where we all had potatoes, and they were 100-foot rows, and oh my gosh, and there was 2 to 3 feet between each row, and we had 20-some rows. So to fertilize that thing to start and fertilize it 2 more times, used 100 pounds of fertilizer. But I won't be planting in that garden this year. Grass grew up, and he cut down all of the tops of the potatoes, and none of our potatoes got real big. They still had a month to go. So I'm going to try some smaller potatoes, like fingerlings, like Deep South Homestead does, in the greenhouse. But I am putting up a greenhouse. You better be, whether you like them or not, if you roast them and cover them in garlic, salt, and olive oil or avocado oil, and you roast beets and turnips and potatoes, you need, and carrots, you need root vegetables. Because with the grand solar minimum, we're going to have extremes. And let me tell you, y'all remember when Homegrown used to do, show you the air quality? Well, I've been keeping up with that, and it's hit and miss. They're not only messing with our skies, but they're messing with our oceans. Let me tell you how I know. I'd been watching it for about 2 weeks every day, a couple times a day. And except for right up against our coastlines, east and west, the waves would be 8 to 12 feet. But out in the middle of the daggone ocean, they were going up to 48 feet waves. And then there's several spots in the ocean, because I would just move that little cursor, just barely, watching those waves. And there's several spots that have an X on it. I could be way off. I could be wrong. But I really feel like there is something there creating those waves. Well, and I had talked to Homegrown about this. And he agreed. He said he had never seen the waves that high. And he's been watching for years. Well, they announced that all of our ships and subs had left the ports. And I thought, well, you know, the subs go low. That'll be all right. What are they going to do with those ships? I mean, it was all the way around. We couldn't go in action without hitting 32 to 48 foot waves. Well, guess what? I never thought for a couple days. It took me a couple days watching it. All of a sudden, the highest wave all around us in the Atlantic Pacific, going through the Panama Canal, all of the waves were 2 feet, 8 feet, 10 feet, 12 feet, mostly around 8 to 10 feet. They sent our ships out in that water, and all of a sudden the waves went down. They were down for days in the Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean, and around the Panama Canal, and around South America. They were down. Now, they haven't gone back up to 48 feet. But rise, they're in the 15 to 20, last I checked. So our ships must be where they need to be. I don't know. But I said, I don't know if I said on a live or not, but I've said to people, I didn't think if anything was going to go on with Ukraine that it would take place until after the Olympics. Let's see what Olympians go. Well, the Ruskies sent their Olympians, and guess who was sitting big and proud in the stands and stood up and saluted their Olympic team? Old Putin. He was in China watching the opening ceremonies. What's Putin doing in China? Have you ever seen them show Putin on the Olympics? Listen, I never miss a... I want to support those athletes work hard from the time they're little bitty things. I want to support our Olympians, our athletes. Cheer them on, root for them. Hope nobody gets hurt. But yeah, there's that old Putin in the opening ceremonies. My ears have to pop again. What's he doing in China? He's not there to watch the Olympics. See, they can't even have an Olympic team over there. They developed some, and it's the stupidest thing, because you know they all come from Russia, but it's the, something of Russia. The Russian Olympic Committee team. The Russian Olympic Committee team is what they're under, the ROC. They won't even let the country support its own Olympians. They put together a committee and they participate under the ROC. Okay? Putin could have changed that if he had give two hoots. He ain't changed nothing. They all came out under the ROC. And he stood up the whole time they went around that stadium until they got seated. So he don't give two hoots and a holler about that those Olympic Games or that opening ceremony. Wonder what he got there. What kind of talks he's been having with the China people. But we've got till after the Olympics are over. And good Lord, that bunch in Washington. Oh, for heaven's sake. I don't even know what to say about that, so I'm not. I'd get my video taken down. Speaking of, I got a notification. You know, I did a little Valentine video last year. It was just a little short. It's been up for a year. I got a notification from YouTube that somebody claimed that it was copyrightless, and I just took a screenshot of a red background and put that thing in KineMaster, and had a Valentine picture, and I got it off of the internet, and then I used the song, picked a song off of KineMaster's choices, which are not copyrighted. There's not a copyright thing about that. But here's why I took it down. The person that claims that I had used their material had applied and was going to, well, it's not many, I don't know, for Valentine's, people might think it's new if they're new to the channel, get more views on it. I don't know, it's been up for a year, but they monetized my video for their benefit. So I put it on private, so monetize videos. But they monetize, put ads on your channel to try to encourage you to get monetized. June 11th, I will have had my channel up for 3 years, but I have worked with that hacking mess that was through YouTube now. They went through and fixed whatever somebody did, but now I don't have enough watch time hours. But like everybody else, why in the world do I want YouTube making all that money off of that? Well, not all that. I mean, my channel's not that big. 2 cents off of an advertisement. So anyway, if y'all see me monetized, don't be. It's just to not let YouTube get every dime of it. But anyway, so how many people have ordered their seeds? Now, you don't have to have 5,000 and squash. You need onion seeds. Well, you can let your onions go to seed. You can let them bolt, and you can get seeds off of those. You can get the seeds out of the middle of your squash and your tomatoes, so you can have 1,000,000 of those seeds. I've never seen a carrot bolt. I'm sure they all bolt that you can get seeds, but I'm not proficient in that. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not. So everything that I'm not sure that I would successfully save a seed, I have ordered more carrots, more beets, more cabbage seeds. Lord, I've never seen a cabbage bolt. I don't know how in the world you get a cabbage seed. So I've ordered more cabbage seeds because, they took seeds away when CV hit. But if you don't have some kind of fertilizer, fish emulsion, pond water, lime, wood fire, leaves, if you don't harden them in that soil, you're going to have to start with a little fertilizer for those seeds. And of course, how long are we going to be able to buy bags of potting soil to start them? But you need to have your seeds. Right now is the time to either order or call your. I've got a call next week, and they told me the 2nd or 3rd week of February for fruit trees and now I have several from Stark Brothers in Ohio. Good product. Nobody has ever had a complaint out of. I've got peaches, pears, cherries, all kinds of bushes, but I didn't order apple trees. And I just assumed that I'd be able to get apples, barter for apples in my county, but nobody has apple trees. So when my local greenhouse apple tree order in, I'm going to go get apple trees. And I think 2 of my blueberry bushes have died, so I'm going to have some more blueberries. Got plenty of blackberries, raspberries, All that stuff's going to be delivered middle of March. I've kept my potatoes where the tops were cut off. They weren't very big. Kept my potatoes to use my potatoes for onion sets. I will always keep potatoes to have potato sets. I have ordered more onion seeds so I can always start my own onions. Bottoms stay in, and they don't produce the next year. They produce every. Just keep garlic around. But you better be getting you some starter soil, and you can't really stock that stuff up, but you can get perlite, those little white balls that's in your seed starter. I want you to a channel that teaches you how to never have to buy chicken feed again, and in the process of it, you make compost. Not a hard process. As a matter of fact, it is so simple, it made my head spin. But it's perma-pasture farm. That's where Billy bone sauce to keep deer away from the garden. If he is, yes. I don't have to stop and kick gas today. I haven't been anywhere. So I still have gas I got last time I talked to y'all. There are 2 sets of his chicken tractor on. The one with his son is a little harder to follow. There is in the playlist Chicken Tractor on Steroids, where Billy and his son William both go over the process. Now, you don't have to run your chickens. You can do this without runs. You have to move your time in with your chickens. Move my showed y'all where mine's caged in. But perma-pasture farms, I'll link it. I'll go to my neighbor's house and but it's amazing. Now, once you get your gardens growing, you don't have to worry about it. You just use your own vegetables and put just a little in the middle of your new pile where you clean your hay or grass or whatever you're using for the bedding in your chicken coops. And then you can use comfrey in the winter. Comfrey's high in protein. Those eggs lay, he has done it with meat birds, and he has done it with his egg layers. And he's done it for a while. He actually sent his son, and he tells y'all this, the genius behind this idea is in Australia, and he sent his son to Australia to learn from this guy. And he's doing it successfully. So, right now, I told y'all in a video that our local provider, they wouldn't even let the farmer's market be opened. Stupidness. But the ones that provided all of the stuff for the farmer's market and provides, my goodness, this river's high. Moly. Just happened to notice it. Both Greenbrier and New River. Man, we haven't had any rain. What's these rivers? I mean, these rivers, they look like waves in the ocean. This is crazy, y'all. We ain't had any rain. Had snow. And not that much snow, actually. Just the cold temperatures. But anyway, I told y'all I called them to see if I could get, a decent box of their cabbage leaves, lettuce leaves, whatever they had. And they said that they're not allowed. They're not allowed to give anybody anything. They have got a grinder that they have to put every piece of junk leaf that they have or produce, and I guess that's where they're working on that biofuel stuff. I don't know, but they come and collect it once a week, and they have an inspector to come twice a month and make sure that, depending upon what their list is of their order of produce, that they have whatever the formula is. This river is almost up and going to cross the road, y'all. In some spots, 2 feet, if this river rises a foot to 2 feet, it's going to be up over the road in the low spots. This is absolutely crazy. I'll never get y'all back on there. I'd show you, but I'd pop you right off. But anyway, seeds, trees, bushes, fertilizer, potting soil. Tell your neighbors you want your leaves, their leaves next fall. Start gathering up bags of leaves if you don't have straw. When you plant your gardens, put leaves on your rows. Put leaves on your rows next fall and leave it on there. Put some straw on it and let that stuff set through the winter and help your garden amend. But you better have what you need, because they warned before W2 was over, there would never be another conflict like that there would not be bloodshed on this land. I'm going by the mountains, might break up and buffer. I'm going to try to talk slower. I've noticed if I had talked slower when it buffered, y'all might could have understood more of what I was saying. But anyway, that's all I wanted to tell you. The video I put up for just a little bit last weekend with everything that hand crank, I deleted it. The first look, because I forgot some stuff. Okay, I forgot some stuff that when I was cleaning up, and I did the front little clip and my big long clip with everything. I deleted it by accident, so I had left some things at home, brought those things. They needed up here anyway. So I am going to get that video out for y'all. I'll either be back tomorrow night or Monday, I'm not sure. So that video's coming out, and then I'm going to do a seed video for y'all. Love my seeds. I get all excited when I get seeds, but I'm getting ready to get up against this mountain where I buffer really bad. So learn what the Bible says. I'm afraid it's buffered and you'll miss that. The Bible. Learn that Bible. Have Jesus in your heart. Oh, and the prepping preacher. There was a post they sent. Now that post is gone. He's supposed to be doing better. I don't know if they took him off the vent and he's doing better. I don't know. But the prepping preacher, if y'all have never watched him, he's awesome. His opening's awesome. So anyway, I'm going to go before I buffer anymore. Be reading your Bibles every day. Gauge it. Make sure you're reading your Bible the length of time you were watching YouTube. And if it's vice versa, you better straighten that crap out. Get your seeds. Get you some trees. Find somebody. There's all kinds of videos on growing trees. If you can't afford to buy these trees and bushes, it takes you some potting soil and some handy wrap and some aluminum foil, and you break off a branch. You got to watch Lead Farmer 73. He does a good job on grafting. If you can't afford to buy a tree and a bush, find somebody that has them. It doesn't cost them a dime, one little limb, and graft yourself. The root system from grafting is amazing. It's better. Am I back? Drive around, find somebody that has apple trees, pear trees, peach trees, bushes, whatever it is you want. Graft them. You know, these blueberries and blackberries, they have little offshoots. Somebody might just let you have an offshoot. So you don't have to buy it. M.I. Gardener. Capital M, capital I, Gardener. Watch the gardening channels. If you have multiple... I wasn't talking, I noticed I was gone. Watch the gardening channels. Roots and Refuge. Oh my gosh. Y'all know I love Deep South Homestead. But you've got to plant your tomato varieties a half a football field apart before you can save those seeds and know that you're going to get that same variety the next year. If you don't care if they're all mixed up and make your own varieties, it don't matter. But you have got to have your good, solid heirloom tomato and pepper seeds very far apart to be able to save those seeds and be getting what you planted. But if nothing else, you're going to be able to use fertilizer for barter. If you're not growing gardens, if you're not growing gardens, I don't know what you're going to do. You're going to have to go to the store and you're going to have to start canning store-bought stuff. That's all I can tell you. At least I'm noticing when I'm on, so I can shut up and you don't miss anything. So I'm going to do the seed video. I am going to, your medicinal herbs, y'all. Not just to cook, but your medicinal herbs. I'm going to do a seed video. I'm going to do this. Okay, the grid goes down. What do you need to make your life just a little easier? This is stuff just to make life a little easier, to seem normal. Okay? I'm going to redo that video. I don't know if I'll do it this evening or I'll do it tomorrow. But I'll have it ready, at least uploaded tomorrow night or Monday. But it's getting real, y'all. It's getting real. God is not going to take his church out of any and all discomfort. I still haven't done that video for y'all. Revelation, it says that everyone will take that mark except those whose names are in the Lamb's book. So what's that tell you? And then those people that their names are in the Lamb's book, I'm not ever going to get that video done, so I'm just going to tell you, will be killed because they take the mark and worship the beast. That goes against everything that especially good old Baptist churches preach, that we're going to be taken up and not be here. The people will be here whose names are in the Lamb's book of life. Only it's not stated like that. The book of the, I forget how it says it. I was never good at quoting the Bible. But I get the point across. There will be saved people whose names are in the Lamb's book of life here when the mark is introduced. It says it. And then it says those whose names are in the Lamb's book who do not take the mark will be killed by the beast. It's in the book of Revelation. I forget now if it's in 6, 7, 8, 9, or 13. I forget which book it is. But you need to be studying that Bible. Find it. Why do I need to read it to you? Don't take my word for it. It's in the King James Version. It's the version I use. But it's there. So we're going to have some rough times, y'all. We're going to have some rough times. We are only promised 70 years. The Old Testament says we're promised 70 years. The New Testament says we're promised 70 years that we could add or take away from that time. And that the first big thing of the coming of Christ was when Israel became a nation. 1948 plus 70 is 2018. And if you go down the list in Matthew 24, when his disciples asked, how do we know when you will be coming back? Talking to Jesus. And he gives a list. Man, we're almost at the end of that list, y'all. We're almost at the end of that list. And he says, but the time is not yet. Of course, not even the angels in heaven know when Jesus is coming back. But that list that he gave his disciples, we're almost at the end of that list. So, anyway, I'm going to lose. I'm going to buffer worse now at this point than before. So, I love y'all. I want y'all to not be scared. Don't be scared. Just do what you can. I always try to look and make sure my son's fishing camp is still there. It's eroding. So anyway, don't be scared. Just be prepared. I love you. I appreciate every minute you give me. I appreciate all the prayers because I know you're going to be praying for my nephew for his pain to be controlled and his healing to be fast. So until next time, say your prayers. Don't forget, if something happens, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll be together in spirit because we'll be praying for each other. Remember, I love you. And it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Pray over your meals. It will fill everybody. So, until next time, love y'all with all my heart.